Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. Okay, after listening to Boy Diviner with his question and about how do you not feel overwhelmed with all the decks coming at once, maybe your collection feels like it's getting large and you're not quite sure how to sort of start to sort of dive deeper. And then I sort of listened to Astral Lady Tarot and looked at how what she chose to do so that she didn't feel overwhelmed with her tarot collection. It made me sort of think about what do I do and what can I share of my practice that's going to help you maybe find your best solution so that you don't feel overwhelmed as decks, tarot and oracle decks start arriving in your collection. You know, you start off with 1 or 2 decks, maybe 3 or 4, and it doesn't feel too bad. Maybe your collection sort of grows 1 or 2 decks at a time and it doesn't feel so overwhelming, but suddenly you get a whole lot coming in. You might get 4 or 5 decks at a time. Maybe over a month you might get 4 or 5 decks, and it's sort of getting a little overwhelming. You sort of can't use all your decks at once. And you want to dive back into another deck. Something interests you. Where do you start? Okay, for me, there's several things I do. Now let me walk you across to where I store my cards so you can sort of see where I store my decks at this time. Okay, the deck I've got here is the Primordial Tarot, which I'm studying at the moment, but we'll get back to that. So let's go back to where I actually store my decks. Okay, so you can see here I've got my decks in themes at the moment. I've sort of changed these shelves around. But what I did was I actually pulled out from, let me show you the decks stored, right? So these are my normal decks in their categories, whether it's Kipper, Leninmand, playing cards, Sibylla cards there as well, Lotteria, or whether it's my collection that I created myself. There's a mixture of tarot and oracle here at the moment. There's some tarot decks here, which are cultural decks and the minis. Then there's a Hand Me That Pencil decks as well, and some New Zealand ones there. Okay, so what I did was, I actually pulled out my autumn wintry decks that I want to work through over the next few months. This is what I want to work through. So I might pull out a deck that I use from here for some reason. Okay, so this is my sort of basket for the wintry months coming up, which I want to show you. So what I've done is, so let me show you what I'm doing at the moment, or what I have been doing. Whoops, sorry, the mess that you see. Okay, so what I've been doing is pulling out the Primordial Tarot. I've been doing it slowly, as you might have noticed. I'll put the link down below from my blog, which I will show you in a moment. But what I started with was just looking at the major arcana, and I did sort of like 7 cards at a time, so it took like 3 or 4 days just to go through the major arcana. And then I started to work through the suits. The suit of the soul wasn't too bad. The suit of jewels I sort of struggled with a little bit, so that took a little bit longer. The suit of nature seemed to be okay. I haven't done the suit of blood yet. That's still to come. But what I did was, now I had been through this before and looked at the book, etc. But what I decided to do this time was to actually go and have a look at go through and actually look at my own thoughts about it. So let me take you on a bit of a journey on my blog. Okay, so you can see my blog. Okay, so I started with, well, that's the Suit of Soul. Whoops. Go back and go down to, whoops, card of the month. Continued. That's what I wanted. Sorry, wrong page I had done. So here we got continued study of primordial tarot, right? So I go through and have a look at each suit. So this is what I do. I go up and I write my thoughts about each card, but only 7 at a time. Then what I'll do is I'll pull from those 7 cards to do today's message. So I did that for each one. Then I do today's message using the 14 cards. And then I put them all together. I do a 6-card reading, which you'll see on YouTube video, as you can see here. I'll show you very quickly. It takes a second to load, to go through. Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. Okay, for the last week, basically, I have been looking at the last few days anyway, have been looking at the primordial tarot, sort of revisiting, if you like, through the third of the month. I keep thinking it's supposed to be more than that, but anyway, it's the third of the month. So let's just look at what I've been learning, or what I've rediscovered working with the primordial tarot, going through and writing up my own thoughts. Now, I've got this on my tarot journal online, on my blogs. There you can find more of that on my, of course, on my YouTube channel, of course. So I go through and I do the Suit of the Souls here, and I do the same thing. I look at what the colour is, what it means. So this suit speaks of blue as the colour of the sky, the moment before daybreak, and represents dreams and meditation. The Suit of Soul explores our experience of spirituality and magic. So then I go through and I have a look at what each card means to me. So after the cards, I go through and actually do a reading using only that suit, which you can find more information, of course, on my YouTube channel. But let's look at the introduction, just so that you can sort of see. So you can see Suit Primordial Tarot, Suit of Souls. Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. Okay, so what I've been doing is continuing with the Primordial Tarot study, and I'm working at the Suits of the Souls. And I noticed it was very watery, hence the water in front of you, which I'm going to remove when I sort of work through these cards to do a reading. But I just wanted to sort of talk about the element water, the emotional, soul, spirit, spirituality, magic within one's own journey. That's what the suit is about. So let us explore that sense of magic, spirituality, the soul, the spirit within the energy, the vibration. Okay, you can see more of that on my website, on my channel. Okay, next I did Suit of Jewels. So you can see what I do as I go through. I take a photo of the cards, I go through and work writing up. I go through writing up my own thoughts in regards to each card. So you can see. So I try and just do that in my own time. It took me a few days with this one. Then I've done Suit of Nature, which only took today, which shouldn't take so long. See, sometimes it flows really easy, and other times it's not so bad. So what I wrote here was, some days as I look at the cards, thoughts seem to flow on some level. Sometimes it seems to be easy, other times it seems much more of a struggle. Okay, as I continue with this aspect of it, using the different form of videoing, if you like, using my webcam. Some days as I look at the cards, thoughts seem to flow on some level. Sometimes it seems to be easy, other times it seems much more of a struggle. Sometimes I work with the cards quickly, other times it seems to take so much longer. There are no fast rules, but it is about being flexible and doing what feels right in this moment. I have yet to look at the suit of blood. So you can see what I'm doing each day or each time I look at the cards, as I write down the title, I write down what I see in the card, maybe some thoughts about what it could actually mean to me in this moment. So these are my own thoughts, not from the book or anything like that. This is my own thoughts about each card. So that's what I do. I just take my time. There's no time limit. As you can see, it's taken a little while. It's now April the 19th. I started this journey. When was this print? When was this started? The end of March 27th. So it has taken me a few weeks to get through the suit. I haven't stressed about it, just used it the way I wanted to. Okay, the other thing that I've been doing as well, to sort of cover a little bit more, is the astrology through different beliefs. Okay, so let's have a look at this one here. So astrology through different beliefs. So this is Native American. What I've been doing is I had the Wellbeing Esoteric Almanac from 2019, and I wanted to look at the Native American astrology. So it's linked to the seasonal cycles and uses animal totems linked to the 12 moons for the year. So I've done a video on it, of course, which you can explore. Okay, so you can explore that a little bit more. And I've written up each of the months and gone through. Oh, I need to do a link to that page as well, the second March 21st, April 19th, April 20th, May 20th. April 20th, May 20th is the one I should have done. So yeah, I need to go through and do the pages for that so that you can link, because I have done so let's have a look at April the 20th. So here we are. So I've gone through and had a look at what the cards were. Frog, Wren, Return, Moon, which is building dreams, determination, celebration, turtle, etc. And then I did that, did a video on it using the Native American Tarot to sort of give a little bit more information about my journey during this moon phase. So yeah, you can find that again. You'll find it on my channel as well, the video. So there you are. It's a little bit about what I do in regards to working with different decks. Let's do the, let me show you the tarot journal. Now for 2020, oh, why did I do that for? This is what I've sort of been writing up, as you can sort of see. So let's go back. I should have done, what I wanted to do was actually view the page. so that you can actually see it. So Tarot Journal 2001, this begins a new year. So I looked at my Wheel of Year spread. So you can see that I keep a record of my spread for the year. And I use the Raincoast Tarot pocket size. And what I've done is each month, you'll see a little bit about the High Priest. So say for January was the High Priestess. So I looked at that, and then I wanted to know a little bit more. So I used the Raincoast Oracle, and I wrote down some thoughts. So let's do February. Same thing. So I looked on the card. To me, it was 5 of Cups, and it spoke about focus. I really didn't do a lot about that. I felt I really didn't dive deep into February. I just sort of took some time off. Oops. January. So where's my Wheel of the Year? Did I close it down for some reason? Wheel of the Year. Oh, it might have jumped. March. Let's have a look. Oh, I didn't do much in that one either. Wheel of the Year spread. Let me look at April. April was the one that I sort of really did a bit of work with. So you can sort of see what I do to try and, I use different decks. So in this one I've used the Silver Witchcraft Tarot to find out a little bit more about what One of Pentacles was for me, the Ace of Pentacles. So, which spoke the potential. So I want to know a little bit more. So I use the Silver Witchcraft Tarot to give me a little bit more information about the month of April. So that was quite interesting to sort of give me a little bit more information. So that's how I sort of use my decks, so that I have a variety, but also I sort of dive a little bit deeper. So as you can see, each month I'm diving, really for the year, I'm using the Raincoast Tarot. It's very slow, but it's a great way to get to know the deck. Using different decks to sort of dive deep into each month in a way, but using the Native American astrology is one way to sort of dive deep into the Native American cards at the moment. I'm doing the Primordial Tarot as my main deck that I'm actually studying. So that's my way of sort of being a little bit selective about decks at this time. But things may change over the month. I mean, next month it could be totally different, where my practice is different. So that's it from me. So as you can see, with all the Primordial Tarot all spread out, you can see that's what I've been working on, yet still to do the Suit of Blood. But you can see how I sort of separate this one deck out that I'm choosing to study. I split it into its suits and slowly work through each of them until I get a better understanding of what's going on, just to give you a little bit of an idea of the practice. Anyway, hope that sort of gives you an idea about working with one deck in one way, and then using other decks in different aspects of your practice, so that you get a sort of a variety, and you don't get too bogged down by the different decks in your collection. Anyway, that's just one way that I sort of do this. So anyway, just that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links below, check the links on my channel, like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care and blessedly.